Our history is full of stories, some good, some bad, and some that still have no ending. These mysteries have baffled historians for years, and many still remain unsolved. Because how would you explain a book of dark magic written by a Christian bishop who devoted his entire life just to master its forbidden spells? Or a lost city hidden beneath the jungles of Malaysia that may have been the capital of a mythical kingdom? Well, stay tuned, because what you're about to see isn't a list of man-made myths, but real forgotten ancient mysteries that still cannot be explained. Number 15. The Forgotten Kings of Ancient Egypt. Almost everyone knows the name Narmer. History books usually credit him as the first pharaoh who united Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BC. But here's the super-duper strange part. Archaeologists have found signs that Egypt already had powerful rulers long before Narmer ever appeared. At Abydos, a royal tomb known as Uj contained hundreds of valuable objects along with tiny ivory tags carved with symbols that look remarkably like the earliest hieroglyphs. The tomb itself is believed to belong to a king who lived generations before Egypt's official beginning. Other discoveries mention shadowy rulers with names like Scorpion, leaders who seem to have worn royal crowns and controlled large territories. So why are they forgotten? Did later pharaohs simplify the story by making Narmer the founder of a united kingdom? Or are we still missing an entire chapter of Egypt's earliest history? Well, the first king of Egypt may not be the one history usually remembers, and that's a mystery archaeologists still haven't solved. Number 14. Rauskina, the Icelandic grimoire well. The very existence of this book challenges the boundaries between faith and sorcery, light and darkness. The Rauskina is basically a legendary Icelandic grimoire that many believed contained the darkest magical knowledge ever written in the country. According to tradition, it was created by Gotskilk Nicholson, the Bishop of Lar, who served from 1497 until his death in 1520. Although he was one of Iceland's highest church officials, legend remembers him for something entirely different. Stories claim he spent years collecting forbidden spells with one impossible goal in mind: gaining enough power to command Satan himself. The book's name means red skin, a reference to its supposed red leather binding. What happened next is where the story becomes even stranger. Legend says Gotskilk ordered Rauskina buried with him so no one could ever use it. 2 centuries later, a young scholar known as Galdra Lofter reportedly tried to summon the bishop from his grave to steal the book. According to Icelandic folklore, the ritual failed, Lofter lost his mind, and Rauskina disappeared forever. Number 13. The Rod of Moses, the staff that changed history. One ordinary wooden staff, well, that's all it looked like. But according to both the Bible and the Quran, it became one of the most powerful objects ever placed in the hands of Adam's sons. This was the staff carried by the great Moses, the same one said to have turned into a serpent before Pharaoh brought down the plagues of Egypt, split the Red Sea, struck water from solid rock, and remained raised during the battle against the Amalekites as the Israelites fought below. After Moses disappeared from history, the staff's story became even harder to follow. One tradition says it was preserved through generations before ending up in Solomon's temple. Others claim it survived the temple's destruction, passed through Constantinople, and eventually reached the Ottoman Empire after Sultan Selim I conquered Egypt in 1517. Today, many believe it rests among the sacred relics inside Istanbul's Topkapi Palace, while Shia Islamic tradition holds that the true staff of Moses remains hidden alongside other prophetic relics. If either story is true, could one of history's most powerful objects still exist? Is it real? Number 12. Kota Jalangi, Malaysia's lost city. What exactly is Kota Jalangi, who built it, and what secrets might it hold are questions that still divide historians today. Deep inside the forests of Johor, Malaysia, local tradition speaks of an ancient city hidden beneath dense jungle. A place some believe predates many of Southeast Asia's greatest monuments. And then, the interest in this mystery grew in 2004 when researcher Remy Che Ross compared old Malay manuscripts with satellite imagery and suggested that buried structures covered a vast area near the Lingju Reservoir. The Malay annals describe a fortified city of black stone in the same region, while Chinese records also mention an important settlement on the Malay Peninsula. Some researchers connect it with the powerful Srivijaya Empire, which dominated maritime trade between the 7th and the 13th centuries. But despite surveys and government investigations, no confirmed city has ever been excavated. Adding to the already puzzling mystery, several Orang Asli elders have long insisted they personally saw stone walls deep in the jungle decades ago. Until archaeologists uncover clear evidence, Kota Jalangi remains suspended somewhere between history and legend. Number 11. Bermeja. The island that simply disappeared. It's strange how people trust old maps without giving them much thought. After all, if generations of cartographers kept drawing the same island in the same place, you'd naturally think someone had actually seen it. That's exactly what happened with Bermeja. For almost 400 years, maps showed a small island sitting in the Gulf of Mexico, northwest of the Yucatan Peninsula. Spanish navigators recorded it as early as the 1500s, and it continued appearing on official charts well into the 20th century. Then folks finally went looking for it. A Spanish research vessel searched the area in 1997 and found nothing. Mexico's National Autonomous University returned in 2009 with modern equipment, mapping the seabed at the island's reported coordinates. Once again, there was nothing, not even underwater remains suggesting an island had once existed. Some blame early navigational errors. Others think Bermeja slowly disappeared beneath rising seas. Conspiracy theories even claim it was destroyed because its existence would have expanded Mexico's oil-rich maritime territory. Whatever the truth is, this island has completely vanished. Number 10. The Holy Grail. The cup everyone was looking for. The history of mankind has seen countless treasure hunts, but none has lasted as long as the search for the Holy Grail. Most people know it as the cup Jesus used during the Last Supper, later said to have caught his blood during the crucifixion through the hands of Joseph of Arimathea. But that's only one version of the story. The earliest written account, dating to the late 12th century, doesn't even describe the Grail as a cup, but it appears more like a serving dish carried in a mysterious procession. Only later did medieval legends transform it into the sacred object believed to grant healing, divine favor, or even eternal life. For centuries, people have searched for it in England, Scotland, France, Italy, and beyond. Rumors even claim Nazi officials hunted for it during the Second World War, hoping it possessed extraordinary power. Others believe the Grail was never a physical object at all, but a symbol hiding a much deeper secret. If that's true, what exactly have treasure hunters been chasing for hundreds of years? Number 9. The Mapinguari. The monster of the Amazon. The Amazon is one of those places no one can honestly say they've seen in its entirety. Even today, huge stretches of rainforest remain super difficult to reach. That's probably one reason stories about the Mapinguari refuse to fade away. Indigenous communities across Brazil have spoken about this creature for generations. Long before roads reached much of the forest, they described something enormous, covered in reddish hair, walking upright with backward-facing feet that leave confusing tracks. Some versions even give it a single eye and a mouth in its stomach. As strange as that sounds, the legend isn't simply about a monster. Many tribes see the Mapinguari as a guardian of the rainforest, punishing anyone who hunts recklessly or destroys the forest without respect. Then there's an idea that makes the story even more interesting. Zoologist David Oren believed some of these tales might preserve distant memories of giant ground sloths that lived in South America thousands of years ago. What do you say? Number 8. Muziris. The lost port of Rome. Black pepper doesn't sound like the kind of thing people would cross an ocean for. But nearly 2,000 years ago, Roman ships sailed thousands of miles to the southern coast of India for exactly that reason. One port, known as Muziris, had become so wealthy from the spice trade that Roman writers complained about the amount of gold flowing out of their empire. Ancient Tamil poems describe foreign ships crowding its harbor, unloading wine, glassware, and gold before returning home with pepper, ivory, and other valuable goods. The Roman scholar Pliny the Elder even listed Muziris among India's greatest trading ports, and it later appeared on Roman maps, proving it wasn't just a legend. Then something strange happened. A city known across Rome, Egypt, and Arabia slowly vanished from history. Later records stopped mentioning it, and for centuries nobody could say exactly where it had stood. Only in 2004 did excavations at Padmanabham begin uncovering evidence that many historians now believe belongs to the lost port of Muziris. Number 7. The Menehune. Hawaii's hidden builders. When you picture Hawaii, what do you picture? White beaches, volcanoes, waterfalls, maybe surfers riding enormous waves. Very few people think about the strange stories that have been told there for centuries. One of the oldest is about the Menehune, a race of little people said to stand no more than 2 or 3 feet tall. Hawaiian tradition describes them as remarkably strong, skilled builders who worked only after sunset. By sunrise, they were gone, leaving behind fish ponds, temples, roads, and massive stone walls that ordinary people supposedly couldn't have finished so quickly. The best-known example is the Alacoco fish pond on Kauai, which local folklore credits to the Menehune in a single night. Whether that's true is another question. Some researchers believe these stories preserve memories of an earlier group of settlers who lived on the islands before the Polynesians arrived. Others see the Menehune as mythical figures created to explain ancient engineering that later people no longer understood. Number 6. The 10 lost tribes of Israel. History has witnessed the fall of many kingdoms, but few disappearances are as puzzling as that of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. In 722 BC, the Assyrian Empire captured the northern kingdom of Israel, ending its freedom forever. According to Assyrian records and the Bible, thousands of Israelites were deported across the empire into regions of present-day Iraq and Iran. Then, almost without warning, they vanished from history. No reliable records explain what became of them. Did they slowly blend into surrounding cultures, or did some preserve their identity far beyond the Assyrian frontier? For centuries, communities in Ethiopia, Afghanistan, Persia, and even India claimed descent from the missing tribes, though the evidence remains uncertain. Legends grew even stranger, placing them beyond mythical rivers or in lands no traveler could reach. Despite archaeology confirming the deportations, their final fate is still a puzzle. Number 5. Sesostris, the explorer pharaoh. When it comes to Egyptian history, well, it can be super hard to separate fact from fiction. It's one of those civilizations where the real history is already so weird that legends can easily sound believable. That's what happened with Sesostris. Ancient Greek writers described him as a pharaoh who marched far beyond Egypt, defeated armies across Asia, invaded parts of Europe, and, according to the historian Diodorus Siculus, conquered almost the entire known world. Herodotus even claimed Sesostris left victory monuments wherever he went, and in one unusually colorful story, he supposedly erected a pillar carved with a woman's symbol to mock an army he thought had fought cowardly. The odd part is that Egyptian records never mention any ruler doing anything like this. Today, most historians believe the legend was inspired by two real Middle Kingdom pharaohs, Senusret I and Senusret III, whose real military campaigns gradually grew into one huge story. Was Sesostris ever a real king or simply Egypt's greatest legend? Number 4. The Ark of the Covenant, the lost throne of God. Ask almost anyone to name the most famous relic in history, and chances are they'll say the Ark of the Covenant. According to the Hebrew Bible, this gold-covered chest held the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments and wasn't just treated as a sacred object, it was believed to represent the very presence of God among the Israelites. Stories describe rivers giving way before it, the walls of Jericho collapsing after it was carried into battle, and one man dying instantly simply for reaching out to steady it. Then, for unknown reasons, it disappeared. By the time Babylon destroyed Jerusalem in 587 BC, the Ark had already vanished from history. One tradition says the prophet Jeremiah secretly hid it inside a cave before the city fell. Another point to a chamber beneath the Temple Mount. In Ethiopia, the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion claims to guard the real Ark to this very day, but only one monk is ever allowed to see it. Number 3. Mount Leko, the rainforest no one had entered. Finding an unexplored place on Earth sounds almost impossible today. Satellites can photograph nearly every corner of the planet, and yet Mount Leko proved that surprises still exist. Rising above northern Mozambique, the mountain had been known to local communities for generations. What nobody realized was that its steep cliffs had protected an entire rainforest on the summit for centuries. In 2012, conservation biologist Julian Bayliss spotted the forest while studying Google Earth images. Reaching it turned out to be another challenge altogether. 6 years later, a team of climbers and scientists finally made it to the top. What they found was a world almost completely untouched by modern humans. They recorded rare plants, unusual insects, reptiles, mammals, and an amphibian species that had never been scientifically described before. One discovery raised another question. Near a stream lay several overturned pottery fragments, hinting that someone may have reached the summit long before the expedition. Who those people were, and why they came, remains a mystery today. Number 2. The rediscovery of the Hittites. For generations, many historians believed the Hittites were little more than a forgotten biblical people, perhaps even a legend. That changed dramatically in 1906 when excavations at Hattusa in modern-day Turkey uncovered the ruins of a powerful Bronze Age empire. Massive walls, royal palaces, temples, and thousands of clay tablets revealed a civilization that had once rivaled Egypt itself. Those tablets transformed our understanding of ancient history. They recorded treaties, religious rituals, royal decrees, and diplomatic letters, including the world's earliest known peace treaty following the Battle of Kadesh. Yet the discovery solved only part of the puzzle. Countless tablets remained damaged or untranslated, while entire archives disappeared during the Bronze Age collapse around 1200 BC. Historians still don't know how much knowledge vanished forever when Hattusa burned. Every newly deciphered fragment fills another gap, but the missing pieces continue to raise an unsettling possibility. Could the greatest secrets of one of history's forgotten superpowers still be waiting beneath the ruins? Number 1. The Casca Hall Block, America's first written words. As we know, writing changed everything. The moment humans found a way to record their ideas rather than speak them, history itself became possible. That's why a single stone discovered in Veracruz, Mexico, has caused so much debate. It wasn't recovered from a famous temple or an untouched tomb. Workers came across it by chance in the late 1990s while clearing earth that had already been disturbed. Cut across one face were 62 carefully arranged symbols, unlike anything previously seen from the Olmec civilization. Nearby pottery and figurines dated the block to around 900 BC, making it a serious candidate for the oldest known writing in the U.S. Even today, historians can't agree on what they're looking at. A few of the symbols repeat often enough to suggest real language, while others resemble plants, insects, or tools. But no second inscription has ever turned up to help decode it. One carved stone isn't much to work with, but sometimes it's enough to make people question everything they thought they knew. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.